r/AskReddit. What brings out the worst in people? When a loved one dies, people get really weird in a bad way about money and stuff. I know a bunch of people who had relatives who flat out stole money and valuables after the death of a family member. It's crazy. My own family has a permanent rift because when my grandmother died, 2 of the 5 siblings cleaned out her accounts. The word free in a retail or restaurant type of setting. People will trample one another, take all of the items so there aren't any for others, gorge themselves, try to sneak food out with them. It's disgusting. Stress. Most of us are capable of being decent human beings who make a positive contribution to society. You add stress into the mix and people start to crack. Financial stress, relationship stress, work stress, it doesn't matter. When our focus is pulled into simply surviving and staying afloat, our ability to empathize or provide support to others greatly diminishes. I think this is tied in with the low morale we are all experiencing right now. We're all unbelievably stressed. I've seen some of the nicest people completely snap and act shockingly because they just can't take the pressure anymore. Weddings. My father is a minister. He says he would rather help with a funeral over a wedding any day. Weddings leave people with a sense of extreme desperation to achieve perfection. Hunger can make people do things they never thought they were capable of doing. It can drive your mind out of control. Inheritances. I've seen both my family and friends' families absolutely ripped apart after someone dies and another family member doesn't feel they've received their share, or that the will was unfair, or that property mysteriously goes missing before the estate is settled. Awful stuff. I think the worst is my friend's dad and his sister haven't spoken for over 30 years due to a squabble over their mother's will. 30 years. The kicker is that they're both quite well off on their own. Friend's dad is a very successful trial lawyer and friend's aunt married a successful doctor. This wasn't money either of them ever actually needed, but they've not had a relationship for decades because of it. Sad face. Unprocessed trauma from childhood. As someone that is struggling with mental health, I'm only now beginning to understand why I do a lot of what I do. When our needs for love and acceptance aren't met, we seek out soothing behaviors that numb the pain. It's really easy to end up in midlife with no real idea what it means to be happy and feeling no connection to others. As you begin to work on your issues, you find that the soothing behaviors are no longer as soothing because you know why you're doing it. So, you're stuck with the emptiness that you've always felt and no way to get out of the feeling. Anonymity. Putting a mask on, being on the internet, or otherwise concealing one's identity. People do some very fucked up things when they know they won't be held accountable. I always liked the HALT rule. If you're feeling hungry, angry, late, or tired, then it's likely things you say or do will come off worse than you intend. Some good answers here, to which I'll add, giving things away for free. I've had the surreal experience of working at a Long Island tennis tournament attended by generally very wealthy people. They arrived in top-end luxury cars or limos, wearing designer clothes, and watches worth more than my car. I was tasked with opening a case of some sort of little branded tchotchke, like cheap pens, keychains, etc., and handing them out to the attendees as they walked the sponsor areas. People went berserk, shoving each other, lunging across the table. Thank cripes there was a table, to grab stuff from my hand, missing key tennis matches to lurk by our tent, awaiting the next crap dispersal. Wow. I've seen this type of thing happen many other times too, with people going to great lengths just to get some pittance of which they have no need. Funerals. All the heightened emotions make people irrational. Any buried family drama comes out at the worst possible time. I've been caught in the middle of it before. I didn't even know the deceased, I was there supporting my friend who had lost her mother. Someone decided this was the time to air a 20-year-old grudge as my friend walked by. My friend was so caught off guard by the accusations she was speechless. I told this crazy lady this wasn't the time or the place for this conversation, so she turned on me. Next thing I knew, some other family member was violently yanking her out of the room. I guess it could have been worse, but why did you have to make a scene at a funeral? Mario Kart, Monopoly, Uno. Basically any game where you can really fuck over your friends and family. Money. The moment money is involved, a person's true nature comes out, and most of the time it won't be pretty. Alcohol. If alcohol were discovered tomorrow, it would be illegal. Not being accepted by other people. Social contact and validation is no different from food or water. Yes, people can starve on validation too. That's why simple things like greeting strangers in the street, or always saying thank you are so critically important. Traffic. The after-work rush home is the worst. Everyone is tired, has generally had a bad day and will do anything just to get home and relax. I-4 in Tampa is basically Mad Max Fury Road but with regular cars. People get real stupid when it comes to their kids. The "my baby can do no wrong" attitude when your child is fucking shit up needs to stop. Jealousy. Not just for success. I've seen many relationships crumble because someone was happier than the other. Organized religion. Specifically Christianity. I'm a Christian, and I think religion and personal faith is fine, but when you start having multi-million-dollar church buildings and preachers with million-dollar private jets, something's gone wrong. Pain. But at the same time it can bring out the strength you never thought you had, too. Echo chambers. It is easy to dehumanize people who are different than you when you never spend any time interacting with them. Bullying. I got bullied a lot in primary school. As soon as I got rid of my bullies in secondary school, I started bullying other people in my new school. I regret it, I was such a dong then. Thinking they're being cheated. It almost makes me want to stop doing games in class because if there's two teams, both teams always complain that the other team has some sort of unfair advantage. In reality, neither team understands the true length of a minute and thinks they're being cheated on time. Former legal assistant here, I'm telling you, you don't ever see the worst in someone until you're in the middle of a nasty divorce fighting for custody of your children. It's horrendous how evil some people can be to someone they once loved. Money. I know lovely people that when you get money involved they turn into greedy assholes. I'm selling my company for a few mil as sole owner and decided to give each employee a massive piece of it because they deserved it in my mind, some up to 35%. I thought it was generous. Then the ones that got the most are the most asshole about it, claiming it's not enough compared with what they do for me or demanding that I pay for stuff out of pocket for the deal to go through so the percentage means more money. I was like, WTF. I don't give a shit about money as can plainly be seen. It came naturally from good and hard work. But these people, it's all they care about. They are wonderful people otherwise. Fear. Every single answer so far ultimately ties back to fear. Fear of losing money. Fear of losing power. Fear of losing livelihood. Fear of sickness or death. Fear of failure. Fear of missing out. Fear, in any form, with any motivation, turns people into blind, panicky, stupid, vicious animals. And then there are those who benefit or profit by stoking fear in people. They, obviously, are worse than animals, but are likewise motivated by those same fears above, creating a vicious fear circle.